Some other elements to be thinking about when you're going into a communication are preparing yourself for it, especially if you're about to go and have a difficult conversation, making sure that you're in the right mind space for it, making sure you've thought through what you want to communicate and how you want to communicate it, and also ideally planning things at a time that the other person is prepared for that too. So, if it's at work, maybe not right before a really big meeting. If it's at home, maybe not right when the kids are screaming, right? Whatever it is for you, thinking about your ideal time and situation, and also location is. So in a workplace, sometimes we want to go and communicate with someone, and sometimes we'll bring them into our office. And if we're in a leadership position, that can feel quite uncomfortable for someone. It's like, oh, I'm in the boss's office, I'm in trouble. So you may want to actually go and meet them at their office or go to where they're working. Or what I absolutely love and what I've started doing more and more of myself is go for a walking meeting. It's great, you get outside, you think differently, and you're in neutral environment, right? So no one's feeling awkward or uncomfortable. So just think through some of those key things. What's the message you want to deliver? How do you want to deliver it? What's the result that you want from that communication, right? Why are you entering into this communication? And where's the best place to do it, and what's the best time to have the communication? So I'll just share some high-level descriptions of some of the elements that I see of good communication, and then we'll start to break some of those down and talk about them a little bit more. Really thinking through the time and the place and how you're going to have that conversation is really important. Being prepared and feeling comfortable going into it. Making sure that when you go into a conversation, you haven't already made up your mind about what the other person's going to say or made up a story about the situation, but that you're actually approaching with some curiosity as opposed to having prejudged the situation. The other thing that you really want to do is listen first. So when we go into a conversation, sometimes we're desperate to get our point across, or we need to share what we feel like we think we need to share. But to be a really effective communicator, you have to also be a really effective listener. So make sure that you've got good listening skills and that you're using them, even though you really want to get your message across. You will have your turn, and sometimes by listening first, you get way more information and it changes the way you're going to approach the situation. You also want to be really clear in the way you communicate, which is why it helps to prepare. So if you've got a difficult workplace communication to deliver, really thinking through what are your main points and what do you need people to walk away with from your communication is really important. As I mentioned earlier, communication is two-way. So don't just go and deliver a message, but actually stop, listen for feedback, ask people for their questions, make sure that you're both walking out of there with the same understanding of what you've just discussed.